Today, a Nigerian national was arraigned in federal court here in Columbia on 5 charges related to the sextortion scheme that resulted in the death of a South Carolina teen. The indictment alleges that Hussein Boone Hussein Lawal, who is 24 years old, posed as a teen girl online. He then coerced and enticed 17-year-old Gavin Guffey to send compromising photos. Once received, he harassed, taunted, and extorted Gavin, demanding money or the photos would be shared with family members and classmates. In July of 2022, Gavin died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Lawal's crimes did not stop there. The indictment further alleges that in the days after Guffey lost their son, Lawal continued to threaten and extort Gavin's family members, including by threatening to harm the public reputation of the Guffey family unless they gave in to his demands for money. Today, our pursuit of justice and accountability takes a major step forward. Lawal was extradited from Nigeria and brought here to Columbia to face charges. I hope the message is clear. If you use the internet to exploit children in our state, you will be held accountable here in our courts.
Gavin just lit up a room, I guess is the best way to put it. Always joking, loved art, loved music, movies. I think since he was a little tyke, he was filming, he would make Lego movies. But yeah, just a light. And not somebody that you would ever, that's what makes the crime of sextortion so horrific. Throughout all these parents, I think there's been over 40 deaths of teens publicly since Gavin. And whenever I have talked with these parents and worked with these parents, the common theme is no one thought that their kids were in a bad space whenever this happened. And the crime just targets your deepest, darkest shame. And kids don't feel like there's another way out. But you as the media, we as public officials play a part in that because we're too busy kicking people whenever they're down. And we have forgotten grace in this country. And it's the one thing that we need to understand, that the mistakes that we made are not who we are, but help us become who we will be.
It's like, there's that broader philosophical question about the purpose of the internet, trying to put, borders on, what is essentially.
Yeah, we don't want to be China. We don't want that, we don't want everything locked down. But I do believe, and it's funny that Dylan here, whenever I first met him, FITSNews was one of the first people to really help me get Gavin's story out. And whenever I was walking out, I think he was near, and I made the comment of, we should all know who we're talking to online. And we kind of had an argument over privacy. But he made some really good points. And I agreed with him after he made those points. And it's like, yeah, so how do we go about doing this? And, if we look at it from a physical world standard, if I throw a party at my house and I invite a bunch of people over, I have an insurance policy. So if somebody gets hurt there, then I'm responsible for it. If you're inviting people onto your site and you're allowing nefarious activity to happen, well, then you should be able to be held responsible. But yet that's what we're fighting, and we've got to repeal Section 230 before we can really move forward on that level. And good luck on trying to get Congress to do that with the amount of money. Big tech is the equivalent of big tobacco of this generation. They're just more wealthy. These are the richest companies in the history of man. And we don't have enough congressional members with guts to stand up to them.
Representative Guffey, you obviously, as a public servant, are focused on the public policy solutions, but what would you say, obviously this stuff is all going to take time, but what can parents do right now?
The biggest thing that you can do to parents, or that parents can do, is have the conversation. I had a very open relationship with Gavin. This wasn't something that I thought would happen. There is number one, parents can use technology whenever they are given their kids phones. We've all seen the digital dangers that, especially with screen time and everything else. So as a young age, if the first phone that they're getting is a parental controlled phone, then it's kind of like raising your kid with wearing the seatbelt. But it's hard to take a teen that's not been wearing a seatbelt the whole time and force them to wear a seatbelt. So the earlier that you're going to start a child with a phone, make sure that you're starting them with a phone that has child protection. And the company I went and worked for is one of those companies because I believe in their mission. But not only that, we've also got to have those conversations.